Recently, This Is America and the World traveled to the Sultanate of Oman. Oman, which has developed into a vibrant and progressive country in just the past 40 years, has attracted little attention from the Western media. Oman's neighbors include Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Yemen, and lies across the Persian Gulf from Iran and Pakistan. With the vision of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Sayyid Al Sayyid, Oman shows itself to be a country grounded in its traditions and culture, vital to the region, and quietly engaged in the complex workings of the modern world. Oman, a successful country, is a country of natural beauty, warm and welcoming people, and a foreign policy based on listening and friendship. You'd never guess that in the heart of the Persian Gulf region, you'd discover one of the most stunning performance venues in the world. The country of Oman is home to this jewel of architecture, design, and the arts. The Royal Opera House Muscat, that's the capital city, is unlike anything you've ever seen or experienced. From its commanding exterior to the very smallest features inside, the vision of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos is very clear and truly unforgettable. This performing arts center for the Omani people is an astonishing story unto itself. Like the country, Oman's Royal Opera House is a wonderful example of modern life and the Arab culture in harmony. This is America is brought to you by the National Education Association, the nation's largest advocate for children and public education. The Republic of Kazakhstan in the heart of Eurasia, a rich history, a culture of hospitality, and a future of development and growth. The U.S.-China Education Trust and the F.Y. Chang Foundation. The League of Arab States, representing 350 million people in 22 member countries. The Rotendaro Family Trust. The Embassy Series, uniting people through musical diplomacy, presenting international artists in diplomatic settings. To learn about the short history of the Royal Opera House Muscat, we spoke with Hamid Ghazali. He's the project director who oversaw the construction of the building. His love of the opera house and his enthusiasm for its beauty and design underscore his very personal connection. He begins our conversation by offering a brief timeline from the initial vision of His Majesty the Sultan to the grand opening in 2011.
A lot of elements reflect and echoes the traditional designs that comes from Oman, from the Islamic culture, Islamic architecture, from historic designs that were in the Mamluk eras, in the Mongolian era, and so forth. There's a lot of combination of works: the Mashrabiya design, the carving design works, the stenciling work that is there on the design element, on the panels, on the marble. We have a continuity of design pattern that is replicated in the floors, on the walls, in the ceiling. This design is continuous everywhere. It's like a bloodline that flows in all the building. It's all tied up together as one coherent design that flows in the building. It's basically a timeless design, if I might say. The reason why I'm saying that, because we are replicating some designs from the past with some of the contemporary design of the present, which evolves also for something that would be something of the future. That's why we call it a timeless design. It's a combination of all. It is mainly as an opera, but it's a multi-purpose venue. It can hold, of course, theater and operatic functions, shows, and it can hold concert shows. It is two in one, because this auditorium that we're sitting on the stage, this stage moves. It is a mobile stage. This is basically we are under right now This is called the orchestra shell. It's a shell that is weighing 500 tons, and it moves back and forth.
How many seats for like a concert? How many seats for a play? Is it different?
So maximum of configuration is 1100 and minimum of 840.
840.
Yeah.
And I notice in back of me is this huge organ.
Yeah.
Now, what happens? Where does it go someplace, or?
The orchestra shell itself is 500 tons. The organ is 50 tons, and it is suspended with the shell. So when the whole thing moves, automated on rails, moves back all the way, approximately 55 feet, all the way back.
Oh, so that all goes back.
The whole thing, with a push of a button, everything moves at 1.5 meters per second. It goes all the way back.
So what replaces it?
When this goes out, the stage comes out.
Oh, the stage is there?
Yes, there's a stage here.
Does it raise, or is
Yes,
it there? Oh,
we
it's
have
there.
3 lifts.
Oh.
We have 3 lifts that are here. All of them go up and down. They can take certain seat wagons. We have, that's why it goes from 1100 to 850 or 840. This 250 or 260 seats, they hide below the floor of the auditorium.
If we were a member of the audience, we would come in, buy our tickets, come into a concert or opera or ballet, whatever, and sit in one of the seats. Now, we would see on the back of the chair in front of us a small television screen or a small computer screen. This is state of the art. Tell me.
Yeah, actually, this is one of the items, one of the technological items that are considered as a first done in the world.
First in the world?
First in the world, yeah.
Tell me.
This screen is basically an interactive screen that is put behind each seat. So each audience member have the pleasure of utilizing this screen for his own purpose without being shared with anybody else. This screen can be used to read the cert title as a translation of the venue. It could be used as an interactive medium to interact with what's happening on the stage. If there's any voting or anything of that sort, to select who is best and so forth. If there's a show of that type, at a press of a button, you get the result that who is favored and so forth. Also, the facility of the screen is also to be able to book for future shows. You can read the programs that are coming, the current program that is on hand, translation for up to 6 languages. With the press of a button, you can get the translation either in a subtitle or otherwise with a headphone, which is plugged into the seat, and you can select the translation if there's a conference in the theater.
So you drive by, just going to your home or shopping or to the festival. What do you think when you look at it? What's in your mind? What are you thinking?
We finished this building 2 years ago, and every time I pass by, it brings pleasure to my heart. It's a beautiful. I don't know if you've seen it at night. Have you seen the lighting effect on it? And
yes.
I think it's a beautiful thing. It's a wow factor to me. It still is.
But you had to be so proud of it.
Yes, it's for sure. I think every Omani is proud of this milestone that we've achieved.
His Highness Sayyid Kamil bin Fahad Al Sayyid is Assistant Secretary General for the Cabinet of the Deputy Prime Minister of the Council of Ministers and a member of the Board of Directors of the Royal Opera House Muscat. We sat with His Highness in one of the beautiful boxes within the Opera House itself and talked about how he sees the Royal Opera House as a cultural hub for the performing arts in Oman and in the Gulf region, and also as the center for preserving the musical culture of Oman.
The Royal Opera House has been introduced as a cultural hub. And it's very important to know that we are not importing Western culture, but it's a gateway to introduce cultures from all over the world. And an opera house of this size, of this magnitude, is the first of its kind in the region. And these art forms, such as opera, ballet, are very new art forms to the country, and they have had huge receptions from the Omani publics and the people in the region. His Majesty's belief is that the people of Oman are the instrument and means for the development of the country. And it's through continuous investments in the people that you will create a sense of well-being with the citizens, and also you will strengthen the pillar of modern state. And by creating this Royal Opera House, he has created a cultural hub. He has created a center of excellence, a center of dialogue in the arts. But most importantly, if we look at the statistics, in most societies around the world, youngsters between the age of 16 and 26 have never been to an arts institution, have never been to an opera, have never been to a ballet. And I think His Majesty wants to ensure that the youth of this country gets exposed to this at an early stage, also to inspire them and inspire local Omani arts in the region.
So it's an educational effort, is it?
It is a big educational effort, and we have plans for education and outreach. And we are at the moment developing strategies how to reach to the schools, how to reach to the children, how to introduce arts to them, how to make it interesting, how to match it to what they're demanding. You know, a lot of the world is going towards movies and cinemas and TVs, and we're trying to bring back the culture because at the end of the day, when you come to an institution like this, it's not just watching an opera show, it's not just enjoying a ballet. You also get to know about the country, you get to know about the company, you get to know about the history, about the producer, why has this been produced, what is the story behind it. So every show, every performance we attend is an education.
What seems to have resonated with the people? What seems to be the most popular?
Opera.
Opera.
Opera has...
Why do you think? Why do you think?
That's an interesting question. I think the beauty about opera is it's a musical, but at the same time done on the highest level with the most prestigious artists, with the most renowned voices. I think the stories behind them. A lot of people have been exposed to maybe the stories during their school years or during their travels abroad, and now it's brought to them here, you know, 5 minutes away from their house. So I think everyone connected to that. So opera has had huge audience, sold out tickets. And I think in second place would be ballet. Ballet is very, very popular.
So would you say the Omani people are very musical?
Absolutely. We have long history of folklore, long history of dance in the country. And this is a very interesting question you brought up, because this is something as an opera house we're trying to preserve. We're trying to preserve the Omani dances, the traditional dances, the folklore, because right now this is passed down from generation to generation by word of mouth. And we are trying to document it as an opera house and really make sure that all these things, you know, stay in archives and are properly videotaped and are properly described and documented for our future generations to see.
When our conversation is over and you say to yourself, oh, I wish I would have said that. What do you wish that you would have said that I haven't asked you as a question?
I think I would have wished you asked me what am I most proud about.
Yes.
And I'm proud of many things when it comes to the Opera House. First of all, I'm proud how the vision of His Majesty came at a time where no one thought of establishing an opera house, so no one saw the use of an opera house, you know, in the region. And His Majesty's vision, you know, went 10 years ahead to today and saw the benefits it'll offer. I'm proud about how it's so important, and I stress this, that we have so much folklore and art in Oman, but it's not being documented. It's being passed down by word of mouth through families, and I'm proud that the Opera House is going to have a major role in documenting these roles, as well as with the help of other institutions, in really making sure that this stays for our future generations. I'm proud about how in the future we plan to develop Omani art and, you know, progress it forward. And I'm also proud how in our opening, as our opening season, you know, we had the production of Turandot, which was done 100% by the Royal Opera House. To have a production at the scale of Turandot, and with the success it got us in the time frame we had, it's very difficult to describe the amount of pressure and the amount of work we had to do, not only to bring Turandot, but to bring an extremely beautiful and powerful opening season, and we have done just that. And I hope we continue on the same level with the same quality of shows and same high standards, so that we always meet the demands and the needs of the people locally, regionally, and internationally.
It's hard to believe that just in the first year and a half, the Royal Opera House has already presented such artists as Placido Domingo, Renee Fleming and Joshua Bell, and offered productions of Don Quixote, Carmen, and Swan Lake. Her Excellency, Dr. Rawya Al Busaidi, is Oman's Minister of Higher Education and Chair of the Board of Directors for the Royal Opera House Muscat. We spoke with the Minister about the variety of successful performances already hosted by the Royal Opera House Muscat and some of the challenges the Opera House will face in the future.
The Opera House. What is an opera house doing in Oman?
This opera house is a crowning achievement of a long cultural development plan which started in the early 70s, in the early days of the Renaissance. And 42 years later, we are very proud to have such a cultural icon established here in Oman. It has done a lot, I think, for supporting and consolidating Omani traditional arts, and will continue to do so in the coming days, and also help in the interaction of these Omani arts with international culture.
His Majesty the Sultan is very committed to the arts, obviously, huh?
He is. And this is his gift to the Omani people, especially to youth. It's a forum where Omani talent can be showcased.
What's the biggest challenge you've faced?
I think audience, building an audience and retaining it, but further than that, expanding the audience. We don't just want to attract people from the capital, but from the interior and other regions of Oman. We want to attract people from different age groups. We want to attract people from our neighboring countries and also the expatriates living here. And I think we've done well. But the other challenge, of course, is to maintain the high standards, to keep the high standards achieved in the launch season, which was, it had a stellar array of the best operas, the best musicians, the best ballet companies, and therefore it is quite a challenge keeping up those high standards.
Have you got a sense so far in this year and a half of what the Omani people seem to like more than anything?
I think operas come first. They're always full houses and sold out shows, and then ballet, and then various Arabic and Omani shows, and then we come to jazz and modern dance. I think we've also explored bringing to the Royal Opera House musicals. We've had one American musical, The Music Man, which was well attended, and we had a matinee performance for it so that the whole family can come. But we're looking at trying to bring more popular musicals in the near future too.
The National Symphony Orchestra, headquartered in our town of Washington, D.C., was just here. How was that? That's a big, that's a great number of people, huh?
Yes.
Coming, the symphony,
yes.
Probably about 100 or more.
Mm-hmm.
How was that received?
I think it was a great success. As I said, concerts are very popular here because it's a well-known form of music. The Royal Symphony Orchestra was established several years back, around 25 years back. And therefore, the Omani audience is familiar with the orchestral symphony orchestras, and it was well attended too.
After studying at the University of Washington in Seattle and at UCLA, Dr. Nasser Al Taee was on faculty at the University of Tennessee. He's the chief musicologist at the Royal Opera House Muscat, an advisor to the Board of Directors for Education and Outreach. His mission, to teach the Omani people about the music of the world and to preserve Oman's historic and rich musical culture.
The Opera House is an amazing achievement for Oman and, as I say, for the world. It's our gift to humanity. It's our contribution to this global dialogue of culture, between cultures, that in Oman it's a central policy for us to build and cement these kind of bridges. And we look at this monument as an amazing jewel from the architectural point of view, from the artistic, and also from setting on social policies. And we are so proud of this as an institution, despite it's only been a year and a half old. We have managed to carve a special place in history in terms of bringing to Oman the most celebrated and the most excellent part of performances from a variety of cultures.
What role will the Opera House play as far as educating the Omani people about the arts, the performing arts?
Well, this is our challenge: is to introduce new cultural values to a place that has strong cultural values of their own. But now we are integrating many cultures and many traditions, and the challenge is to convey the beauty of these various musical genres and traditions to Oman. And we do this through lectures. We are so keen on presenting lectures before some important shows to explain their history and to explain how to listen to these works. We do tours for the public for free. We go to schools. We bring students. We have family nights at the Opera House where we bring not just special shows for children, but free performances for students, so that our new generation can grow up with traditions and values that we all love and inspire to see in our children. We are cherishing the possibility of seeing performances like Puccini's Turandot, Verdi's Rigoletto, having the possibility to have Yo-Yo Ma, Renee Fleming, Marsalis, and Joshua Bell, and so on, perform in Oman. I used to be a student trying to buy student tickets at the Met, standing very far in the very back of the auditorium. Here we have these magnificent works being presented in Oman for our audiences. So it's a wonderful gift, and it's something that we are so proud of. One of the things I want to also highlight is how there were some amazing moments within these performances where the people were just in awe of the performance. And you could see our hall during these performances, the diversity of audience, Omanis, expats, Western workers, who all come in together and share one magnificent artistic celebration. So it's a wonderful place to bring people together. But there are also moments when music really takes center stage, and once the lights are dimmed, the music speaks to us personally. It does not know borders, and it does not recognize racial differences. It can just affect us in the same way and move us and bring us together. Those are the moments that we cherish, and we really are proud that there is a place now here in Muscat where these events are possible.
Special thanks to the Embassy of the Sultanate of Oman in Washington. And in Oman, the Ministry of Information, the Public Authority for Radio and Television, Muscat Municipality, And extra special thanks to the Intercontinental Hotel in Muscat, Oman. For information about my new book, The Chance of a Lifetime, and online video for all This Is America programs, visit our website, thisisamerica.net. And now you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. This Is America is brought to you by the National Education Association, the nation's largest advocate for children and public education. The Republic of Kazakhstan in the heart of Eurasia, a rich history, a culture of hospitality, and a future of development and growth. The U.S.-China Education Trust and the F.Y. Chang Foundation. The League of Arab States, representing 350 million people in 22 member countries. The Rotendaro Family Trust. The Embassy Series, uniting people through musical diplomacy, presenting international artists in diplomatic settings.